The views and opinions expressed during this program are not necessarily those of Overseas Radio Network, the Expat Broadcasting Group, the staff, management, or broadcast partners. All information provided is for educational purposes only. Before taking action, consult a licensed professional.
The Coast to Coast.
Check 1, 2. Testing.
Now hear me.
You're listening to This Week in Costa Rica.
Once the volume control is set, do not readjust.
On the Overseas Radio Network.
That's why I want you to go on the radio.
This Week in Costa Rica, bringing you the latest information from expats, experts, and people just like you who chose to escape, retire, and live in Costa Rica.
Listen and decide in your own mind what sounds best.
Got a question? A comment?
They have to be dealt with on an altogether different level.
Or just want to talk to an expert on living in Costa Rica?
Oh, brother, what a way to make a living.
Give us a call now.
Hello?
Lines are open and your answers are just one phone call away.
Now, if you have some suggestions to offer, we're willing to listen to you.
Ready?
This Week in Costa Rica with your host,
Who you?
Corey Coates.
And now, folks, it's showtime.
Welcome to This Week in Costa Rica. Another beautiful sunny day here in Jaco Beach. Coming to you from the Overseas Radio Broadcast Facility, located on the West Coast in Vista Las Palmas. A lot going on here today. We've got Dan Stevens coming up. Of course, I'm going to have a great conversation with Dag Haskell and Isabella Cota Schwartz, who is the Reuters correspondent for Central America. But before I get to any of those guys, I want to welcome into the studio today my co-host with the most, Mr. Lyle Head. Lyle, how are you?
It's another beautiful day here.
Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know where this rainy season is people keep talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I have some people saying that we're getting a lot of rain.
Okay, I don't see it. A little bit of drizzle in the afternoon suits me fine. Cool it down, clean it off, makes me feel good.
Yeah, and I love the hard rains at night.
I want to get into the Jaco news right now. You're telling me that apparently in this beautiful little jewel of a town, we're going to see a boardwalk opening up. What's the deal?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, the municipality announced they're going to be putting a boardwalk all across the beach starting in January. Now, will it start in January? That's
a Tico thing, you know.
But the money's put aside and it's been approved, and they have designs and everything for it. There's going to be bridges going over the little
over the rivers,
so you're going to be able to go 4.3 kilometers down the beach.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that this is going to be a boardwalk that runs up just above the tide, like the high tide line, right?
Yeah, it's going to be like there's already the roads in a lot of the places. It's going to be just there, and like right in front of Vista Las Palmas, there's going to be a boardwalk.
This is incredible. You know what I think it's going to do as well? We don't have as much of a problem with it now because I know the local police are enforcing it, but we're not going to see nearly as many cars on the beach because they're not going to be there. They can't get out there.
Well, they'll have more gates, and then they'll have the lock systems where the police and everybody will have access to open them up and the fire.
Oh, that's a great idea.
They'll have gates for all the entryways, so there won't be any more cars on the beach.
Have you seen any of the plans for this boardwalk? Is it going to be illuminated or not?
Yeah, it's going to be lit up with there's some restrooms, there's seating.
What?
The whole 9 yards.
You're kidding me.
There's supposedly even going to be some kiosks.
Oh, so there's little places where they can lease these out and they can sell like food or pipa fria or drinks or stuff.
That is the idea.
Oh my God, that's such a this town. Honestly, I sound like I'm being paid by the town, but I'm not, man. This town gets better and better and better. This is a great idea. So if it's going to be illuminated, I'm assuming there's probably going to be a police presence out there late at night.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, it's going to give a place for everybody to hang out on the beach.
That's a great idea. And you know what? Because I'm a beach walker myself when I need to go somewhere. The great thing about living in a beach town like Jaco, I don't need to put on like actual shoes to do anything. You know, I went to a big gala on the weekend and I'm there in sandals and shorts, just like everybody else. The great thing about a boardwalk is if I want to go down to like the Bohio and maybe have like a sunset cocktail, I don't need to take the street. I can just take the boardwalk all the way down.
Yep, it'll make it easier for everybody. Just imagine everybody riding bikes and the roller blades and all that stuff. It's going to be fun.
Such a great idea. Is this all going to be? What's the construction going to be? Is it going to be wood? We talking cement? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, it's all concrete.
Okay, great idea though. What a great idea. I got a question though. I don't really know how things work around here, and you do because you've lived here for what 6-7 years now.
Yeah, 7.
We had a big storm blow through 2 weeks ago. Knocked out the internet all over the place, debris all over the place. and the beach just got littered with driftwood. And I noticed that slowly but surely there's like a guy with a wheelbarrow loading it into a truck.
Yep.
Is there any kind of service in town, or is there any way that we can get that expedited and get that beach cleaned up a bit more?
It's done like we usually hold beach cleanings. I mean, the chamber or different local groups do the beach cleaning, but right now it's the municipality has someone comes out, I believe, once a week. That's in a contract.
It's my understanding that the municipality does have some sort of a beach cleaner, but they may have bought the wrong kind. Am I getting this wrong?
No, Pat Hunley bought it, the owner of Daystar. He bought it, I believe, 6 years ago and donated it to them. But they couldn't keep the thing working, and they don't have the equipment to pull it, the truck to unload the stuff into it.
So really, I mean, they've got the front end of everything they need, but they don't have the back end to actually finish the job.
Exactly.
Because it's tough, because, I mean, the beach here in Jaco is beautiful, and we just got blue flag status. Is that right?
No, the town.
Oh, the town got blue flag status. Okay, but not the beach yet.
Not the beach.
Okay. It'd be pretty hard, considering the development that's on the beach, for us to get that level of status, right?
I don't know. A lot of it has to do with, like, we're setting up all the garbage cans and the recycling, and we do tons of beach cleanings, and it's the water quality. There's a lot of things that add up to make it. It's not just the beach has to be white sand.
That's I mean, there's a lot of criteria and a lot of factors that have to be taken into consideration. My point is that especially when a big storm blew through like we just had, not only the debris that washes up on the beach, but we saw a lot of stones, a lot of pebbles, and that kind of thing. And I don't know, there's part of me that's like, look, this is Costa Rica. It gets rugged from time to time, but there's another part that's like, I just want my little toes in the sand.
Yeah, those rocks are not gonna ever leave.
Yeah, I'm watching today, and I got to talk about this a little bit. I can't believe that I get to sit on my balcony and watch not only dolphins from time to time come into the bay, but today was just like flying fish day. I've never seen anything quite like it.
They're pretty cool. They come out of the water. They're like a sardine style, but they have wings.
They're huge.
They're like birds.
They're absolutely huge. So I'm watching all the surfers today, because the surf this week has been phenomenal. And all these guys are out there bopping around, and all these fish are jumping up and around and over them. It's like it's this magical little paradise that we live in.
There must be a bunch of other big fish there or something.
Yeah, I guess. Now, there's a couple things that we would love to talk about, but I guess we can't talk about things that are happening here in town. New nightclubs opening up, new sports bar opening up. These kind of things we're going to have to keep on the lowdown right now. Is that right?
I think so. I mean, the new sports bar is going to be called Knockout. It's part of the group, the Loft, the Grupo Le Loft, Adams deal. So I don't think he's announced where it's going to be at. And then he's also purchased a new bar as well in town. So
more
he's
on
spreading
that.
his wings.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because if anybody does a club well, it's him. And man, because he ever run a restaurant. I love Eat. I love Le Loft. There's just no better place to throw a party. I'm really looking forward to see what he does for this town. Again, he's really making Jaco just the place on the map to be.
Sure, everybody. I mean, all the little restaurants and stuff have been doing well lately. I mean, it seems like everybody's getting more aggressive and coming up with new ideas and promotions. And
the only people that win are you and me, really.
That's it.
You know, the customer who comes into these beautiful little towns and has all this great food, great places to live, great places to stay. Look, we got to run here, take a little bit of a break. Lyle, thanks so much again for dropping in. I know you're a super busy guy.
Hey, no problem, man. See you next week.
Absolutely. Stick around, guys. We got Dan Stevens from the Costa Rican Times coming up. Email us info@thisweekincostarica.com. You're listening to This Week in Costa Rica, only on the Overseas Radio Network.
So you want to jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
You're tuned in to OverseasRadio.com, the station to help you reach your dream destination.
Just finished school? Newly retired? Looking for a change? Get certified to teach English and move abroad like thousands do every year. Global TESOL College comes to Costa Rica, the global organization that trains and certifies more ESL instructors than any other organization of its kind. For the past 15 years, we've trained and certified over 40,000 graduates in the field of TESOL. Live the dream of staying and studying at the beach. You will be living at one of our beautifully centrally located accommodation options in Jaco Beach on Costa Rica's Pacific coast. With a school, beach, and great restaurants all within walking distance? In a safe community with all the convenience of back home, discover why so many choose to earn their teaching certificate in Jaco Beach, Costa Rica. Visit us today for more information at www.globaltieselcostarica.com. That's Global, TESOL, Costa Rica.com. Mention this ad when you enroll and receive $50 off your tuition. Enroll with a friend and receive $100 off. The world is waiting for you, and Global TESOL College is your ticket.
Are you an American living abroad? If so, you probably need to file a U.S. tax return and report your foreign bank accounts each year. This can be overwhelming. The rules for expats can be tricky and mistakes can be very costly. The experts at Greenback Expat Tax Services are here to help. Our accountants are all U.S. qualified CPAs or IRS enrolled agents. We offer our customers a flat fee pricing structure, so there are no surprises, and we have the experience you need to make sure your taxes are done correctly. If you want an expert U.S. accountant to prepare your U.S. taxes, help you catch up on your U.S. taxes, or simply answer your questions, then contact us today at www.greenbacktaxservices.com.
This is Cruise Radio.
For over 42 years, Park West Gallery has introduced over 1.3 million people to fine art. Here's what actual customers are saying.
I've been collecting with Park West 5-6 years now.
6 years.
9 years.
10 years. Everybody we meet at Park West makes you feel comfortable. You're part of their family.
It is an exciting and fun experience. It is enjoyable, uplifting.
Park West has been so kind to us. Park West makes us excited to spend money on art.
To find out more about Park West Gallery, visit parkwestgallery.com or go to cruiseradio.net and click on the Park West Gallery icon.
Your expatriation destination. This is overseasradio.com.
This Week in Costa Rica is hosted by Canadian entrepreneur Corey Coates. Corey has been living and working as a professional in Costa Rica for over 5 years.
Oh, I've been lost in my own place, and I'm getting with it.
He's built a vast network of professional connections to help you with everything from immigration to relocation. Call in or send Corey an email to talk about the steps you need to take in making your dream of living in paradise a reality.
Welcome back to This Week in Costa Rica. Big thanks to Lyle Head for stopping in, giving us all the news at Jaco. Really looking forward to that new boardwalk they're going to build. Sounds great. Segment number 2 today means that I'm going to call into the Central Valley, get all the news and blues from my good friend, Mr. Dan Stevens from the Costa Rican Times. Dan, how are we?
I am great, Corey. How was your weekend?
Weekend was beautiful. The weather was great. Supermoon.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. There were great pictures out there, and I had some friends up in Grecia that said it was the best moon they've ever seen.
Okay, well, there you go. I've seen a lot of moons, and I don't know if I'm going to rank it number 1, but it was pretty darn big. You know, Dan, I hate to ask these 2 questions, but there's such big news here that I feel we have to cover them in one way or another. I mean, there's just a huge blow-up now of the organ trafficking black market here in Costa Rica. You've been covering this on your paper. What the heck's going on?
Well, we've been trying to cover it as much as possible. I mean, we don't have any what we see what no one sees right now, and basically, there's more and more people that are dropping below the poverty line in Costa Rica. Right now, it's over 20%. And when you're looking to be able to make money and support your family, put food on the table, sometimes you revert to activities that are either illegal or immoral. This is one of the ways they're looking at making money down here. What there is a huge market out there for organs, and it actually exceeds the available supply. Right now in the U.S., there's over 110,000 people on a waiting list for organs, and there are fewer than 15,000 donors per year. And as per the basic economics, with the laws of supply and demand, people in Costa Rica are saying, hey, I can give one of my kidneys up, still survive, and sell it for between $40,000 and $200,000.
Wow. And people are voluntarily doing this.
Correct. But the only thing is, what I don't think, I mean, when you look at the people that are looking to do this, it's most of the people that are, again, under the poverty line that aren't very educated. So they think that, oh, well, I don't need to use one of this. It's a simple process. Cut open my side, pull it out, and I'm good to go. But a lot of the times, I mean, when you look at what's going on, it's dangerous for the donor and the patient because the criminals are taking shortcuts, such as accepting organs from people who are sick or are not approved by hospitals. And a lot of the times these end up in death. And for me, I'm not going to give up one of my organs and risk dying for $30,000-$40,000. So.
No kidding. And I mean, now this whole thing, that it really starts to fall apart, especially when you consider a doctor has to be involved, obviously, to remove these organs. And it's my understanding that there are some doctors now, or at least one doctor most recently, who has been caught in this organ trafficking ring, who works for the Social Security system here in Costa Rica.
Right. And if you look at what the doctors' salaries are here in Costa Rica, I mean, it's if they work for that system, they're making possibly up to $2,000 a month if they're a high surgeon. But I mean, most of them make under that. And so if the opportunity to make a quick $5-10 grand, that can sometimes be 4 or 5 months pay. And so it like it is with almost with prostitution here in Costa Rica, it's a easy way, or not an easy way. It's an alternative way to, quote, make easy money. But there's a lot of risk involved, and it's putting a lot of these people in danger.
Well, hopefully the attention that's being put on it now, not only here but internationally, is going to be a catalyst for change. It looks like, I mean, it's getting a lot of press coverage at the moment. Let's see if this turns into something, or if it just does what a lot of things, unfortunately, in Costa Rica do, just kind of fade away into the background.
Right, and that's what I'm looking at. I mean, with the turtle poaching, I mean, the shark finning, and everything else that's going on with the drug trafficking, et cetera, that the Costa Rican government doesn't seem to be doing much about. I'm just wondering what they're going to do on this.
We shall indeed see. You know, we talked a little bit last week about the relationship continuing to develop with China, and I have to say, I agree with you on some points, and those being that especially the oil refinery that the Chinese are looking at building is really going to be a blight on the green image that Costa Rica is trying to promote. Would you agree?
I think it's actually going to possibly absolutely destroy it. It's what Costa Rica does each and every year is they have a huge marketing and advertising campaign to promote themselves as green, promote ecotourism, and ICT and other entities in the government really, really try to push this, and they spend a lot of money on it. It's getting to a point where it's kind of like the kid that cried wolf. I mean, hey, guess what? Or it's somebody saying something, hey, I'm like this, I'm like this, I'm like this. But if your actions don't match your words, then at a certain point in time, they just don't believe you anymore. And it's disturbing to me because, I mean, this refinery, I understand that it's a $1.3 billion oil refinery. It's on hold right now because of a contractual, I guess, disagreement involving China. But it's, I mean, if I want to go, I can go to Texas and I can see them. And I understand Recope wants to be able to not import as much oil, but it's going to put a lot of the ecological risk here in Costa Rica. I mean, they did the National Stadium, which was pretty much opening the door to China coming here. And then now they've got the refinery. They've got a bunch of police cars they gave. They're looking at doing taxis and buses. And the green image in Costa Rica is slowly fading.
I would agree. You know, and I don't want to get too controversial here, because I sure do hate getting the emails from people who tell me I'm wrong, which is pretty much every day. But I was speaking, I think I mentioned a week ago, with a friend of mine, a Canadian expat who lives in Chengdu, China. And we spoke especially about China's trying to incentivize Costa Rica, and also Costa Rica trying to attract more Chinese tourists. And I know I'm going to get an email on this, but I have to say, the first-hand account that I got last week was that the Chinese are, on the whole, and I hate to make such a blanket generalization, but kind of disrespectful tourists and very difficult individuals to deal with because they're so culturally different from what we're accustomed to, especially in a place like Costa Rica. But the one thing that he did said that was striking to me is that these guys litter like nobody's business. When they show up at a national park, they're going to throw their chip bags, their chocolate bars. Now, I don't know if this is truly the case, but this is something that I've actually heard echoed from other people as well, is that these guys are kind of tough tourists to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the same thing. I haven't had personal real experience with that tourism side, so I'm not going to make any generalizations for my point of view. I guess the one thing that's that bothers me about this thing, about this relationship with China, is, I mean, for example, Monica Araya, who was a member of the Costa Rican government, she spoke out against this refinery. And after she spoke out about it, she was fired like within 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't really boost any confidence in me. So, I mean, there's going to be two sides and two views on everything. I think everyone should have a voice. That's what a system is. If you're speaking out and all of a sudden you're canned within 48 hours, then that's gonna, with a non-confrontational society like Costa Rica, that's gonna make people kind of shut up.
Agreed. We have to leave it there, I'm afraid, Dan. Thanks so much, Dan Stevens from the Costa Rican Times. Stick around, guys. We have Dag Haskell from Crocs Casino Resort up next on This Week in Costa Rica, only on the Overseas Radio Network.
So you wanna jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
Live call-in shows and hosts from your favorite countries. This is the Overseas Radio Network.
Okay, you're not stupid. You see the handwriting on the wall. You are thinking about joining the millions of Americans who have already left the country. But where do you go? You don't want to make the mistake of jumping from the frying pan into the fire. You need accurate info to make one of the most important decisions of your life. You need EscapeTheUSANow.com. You don't want to have regrets because your expat country collapsed due to crime, conflict, disease, famine, natural disaster, scarcity, war, or a government gone bad. Only at EscapeTheUSANow.com will you discover the handful of countries that offer true freedoms and unbelievable opportunities that most people could only dream of. EscapeTheUSANow.com is the information you cannot afford not to have. Information that took over 30 years to research, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, with more than 250,000 miles traveled. For less than $2.50 per month, you can have what may be the most life-saving information you have ever obtained. EscapeTheUSANow.com, so you don't jump from the frying pan into the fire.
Is your freedom to live, travel, work, invest, and purchase property where you choose restricted by your current citizenship? Are your assets at risk of litigation? Having a second passport and dual citizenship has numerous benefits. It can expand your travel possibilities, reduce your profile to terrorists, give you the right to reside in other countries, and give you a way to cross international borders if your primary passport is lost, stolen, or revoked. The Nestman Group can assist you in seeking that second passport and citizenship for life through an economic contribution or investment in the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and in selected European Union countries. Contact the Nestman Group at 1-602-604-1524 or on the web at nestman.com. The Nestman Group Limited, Wealth Preservation Solutions.
OverseasRadio.com, broadcasting from Panama to Paris and beyond.
Good. What? What is it? This Week in Costa Rica. Fun, informative, and your questions answered. Talk live with one of our on-air experts and start living your dream now.
Welcome back to This Week in Costa Rica. Another gorgeous sunny day here in Jaco Beach. absolutely stunning weather. I don't know what you guys are doing up in the States. You got to get your butts down here. Big thanks to Dan Stevens from the Costa Rican Times again for that lovely interview. It is my honor and privilege to welcome onto the show today Mr. Dag Haskell. Dag is, of course, the owner of the new, soon-to-be Crocs Casino and Resort, opening here in beautiful Jaco Beach on the North End in December of 2014. Without any further ado, first of all, welcome, Dag.
Hello. Very excited to be here today and talking this project that we've been working hard on for several years. I am from Michigan, actually, and came down to Costa Rica and fell in love with waterfalls and rafting, four-wheeling. I have 5 kids, and we live a pretty adventurous life. And once we came down here and saw the nature of the parks, the monkeys, the macaws, volcanoes, we really got excited and continued to come down. And we kind of picked Costa Rica because of all of these things, and very structured nations in Central America that really offers an opportunity for investment.
Incredible. I mean, I'm looking at this project right now, and it's very ambitious. It's going to be probably one of the top casinos and resorts in the country.
Yes, my cousin Rory has 25 years experience at various places in Las Vegas, and we're looking to do something different in Central America that offers a similar type of family experience that you get in Vegas, where you've got entertainment for all different kinds of people. In addition to the gaming, we have all of these nice eco things, but we're on the beach, so we've got surfing right out front, fishing, golf, lots of different opportunities that bring all different walks into this area.
I think it's fantastic because you mentioned that this is going to be a very family-friendly casino and resort. And I think this is something that is sorely needed in Costa Rica.
I agree. There's different places for things, and I think Jaco has really come a long way in their infrastructure, and it's time to raise the bar of service here. I believe that the Costa Ricans in this community would like to have an employer that they can be proud to work for, and someone that, we're here for the long haul. This isn't a project that we're gonna build and move on. We are here to stay, and we want to be part of these people's lives in Jaco.
I think what's great here, Dag, too, because you mentioned the community, and whenever a business comes to this community and thinks of the community first, I think it's fantastic. And second to that is really that it looks like you're going to hire over 300 people to work here at the casino.
Yes, that is going to be a challenge to go from not operating to operating within a few weeks. So we're looking forward to the challenge. The people in this area are very willing and educated. Our goal is to offer a lot of bilingual communication with our staff. So those opportunities for training are going to have to start well before we open.
Now I'm looking here at some of the details. One, the mock-ups are gorgeous. This looks like it's going to be a beautiful addition to the beach. But I noticed that you have a blend. You're going to have 152 hotel rooms and then 44 luxury condominium residences as well.
Well, we feel that that's important to have some long-term residents in the facility that have a commitment to our project as well. Some people like to have their own private space and fill their drawers with their things and make this a regular stop. And it's something very important to offer for our family type of customers, and one of the biggest pools on the Pacific Rim. So we're very excited about showing off our live crocodile as well.
I was going to ask you about that because I see you have a croc habitat in here. This is fascinating. How exactly does that work?
Well, the whole idea came from my cousin and I going to Tarkos, which is a famous bridge here on the way to Hako, and we were there seeing those crocodiles, and that inspired us for the name of the resort. And a lot of people just don't have the opportunity to see the crocodiles up close. They're a magnificent creature, and we just want to showcase them in our resort and also kind of bring that awareness of nature into our project as well. We're trying to kind of meet this eco standard here in Costa Rica and really do our part in preserving the environment.
I noticed as well that you're going to have meeting and convention centers, and I think this is something that's sorely needed here in Hako because, we can go north up to the Marriott, or we can always go to the convention centers in San Jose. But I think a lot of people who come to Central America for business destinations don't look at Hako because we haven't had the facilities in place until now.
I think the ladies need to get their dresses on and get down here and get married. This is just a wonderful, wonderful beach. The setting is great. The macaws are flying by, and that's why we put the space, is so that families and large groups can have that warm experience and camaraderie and take a little time at the tables to have some laughs.
Now, one thing that always comes up on this program, and I get a lot of emails about this from people who are looking at foreign investment in Costa Rica or opportunities to open businesses here, is that it's pretty well known the ease of doing business in Costa Rica isn't necessarily the best. Have you come into any difficulties in your planning and permitting here in Costa Rica?
No, the municipality is very supportive through our process. We have really gone out of our way to communicate the vision of our project well before the documents move through the system, and I think that's helped us out a lot. So, there's no surprises out there. Before we went through all the national, we started right here at home in the community, and really surprisingly, in the scope of the size of the project we have, we feel we're meeting a U.S. timeline.
That's fantastic. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time today and for this interview. I'm looking forward to going to the groundbreaking. I'm going to have a lot of photos and pictures and all kinds of stuff up on thisweekincostarica.com promoting this thing. I think it's a wonderful thing you're doing for the community. The spirit of this project is exactly what you need, and I just want to thank you on behalf of myself as a resident of Hako and all of the listeners in This Week in Costa Rica for bringing this project to the fore.
And I just want to welcome all your listeners to Hako. It is a great place, and we're going to keep the lights on for you.
Sounds great, Dag. I'm sure we're going to speak again soon. Coming up next, guys, I want you to stick around. Mr. Lyle Head is going to come in. We're going to speak a lot more about this casino today because that is the topic. And, of course, your calls, your emails, and a whole bunch more. You're listening to This Week in Costa Rica only on the Overseas Radio Network.
So you want to jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
Ready to learn about a new life overseas? You're at the right place. This is the Overseas Radio Network.
This is Jason Hartman, and I want to welcome you to the Jet Setter Show blogcast, an audio version of our written blog at jetsettershow.com. You can find the full-length podcast at jetsettershow.com or on iTunes, where we interview thought leaders and experts on exploring lifestyle-friendly destinations worldwide. Here is today's blogcast.
Thank you, Jason. Travel advice pop quiz time. It's fun to get sick while on vacation. True or false? If you answered in the affirmative, we suggest a Pacific scuba outing in the region of the deadly venomous reef stonefish, a critter rumored to have ended the lives of numerous islanders over the years. Its highly toxic venom ought to give your immune system a good workout. The rest of us prefer to stay at the peak of health at all times, especially when traveling. Here are some critical issues. Know your allergies. If you have allergies and are traveling out of the country, learn how to say the name of the offending food in the local language. Dental. If you even have a suspicion you might need dental work done, why not get it done before you go? Ever seen the movie Castaway? Bet Tom Hanks wishes he had seen a dentist before he crashed on that desert island and had to perform his own root canal with a rock and a... Never mind. Indigenous diseases. If you're going somewhere known for funky diseases, and every place has at least a few, our travel advice to you is research first and know how to prevent exposure. Failing that, at least figure out what to do if you contract a disease. It's also a good idea to stock up on prescriptions and get vaccinations if needed. Schedule your vaccines early enough that you'll have time to recover in the event of an allergic reaction. Trying to do all this the day before departure? Not a good idea. What's the point of even giving you travel advice if you're not going to use it properly? Go ahead. Have a tooth pulled, half a dozen vaccines, and tease a reef stonefish the day before you leave on your African safari if you must, but don't say we didn't warn you. For more, visit jetsettershow.com. For the Jet Setter Blogcast, I'm Will Weeks.
Thanks for listening to this audio blog, and please see disclaimers and important information at the website.
Have you ever dreamed of working abroad? Are you an expat looking for a job? Then you need to visit expatcareers.com, the premier worldwide, all-industry expatriate job site. We are dedicated to providing the best employment opportunities for professionals and experienced expatriates, or for those simply wishing to relocate within their home country. We provide job seekers with access to vacancies and offer recruiters a unique opportunity to advertise these vacancies to the best, most forward-looking individuals within their industry. We are not a recruitment or employment agency. We do, however, showcase the best jobs across the globe on a central, user-friendly careers website. At expatcareers.com, we are dedicated to providing the best employment opportunities for professional and experienced expatriates, or for those simply wishing to relocate within their home country or overseas. The next time you are looking for a change of pace, don't just look for a job. Look for a career. expatcareers.com. That's www.expatcareers.com.
Interested in the profits of organic agriculture but don't want to get your hands dirty? High offshore returns with low taxes and strong property rights? Consider Chile's most exciting new development. Check out freedomorchard.com. No gimmicks, no secrecy, no endless waiting, no unfulfilled promises. Freedom Orchard Organics gives real returns. Don't just sit on a pile of gold. Inflation-resistant agricultural investments are available now at Freedom Orchard. Enjoy a short payback period from year-round frost-free planting on our highly productive farmland in central Chile. Visit freedomorchard.com for details.
The world is a beautiful place, so listen up. The Overseas Radio Network.
You know what I just heard?
What? Costa Rica has the reputation of being the happiest country on earth.
But it gets better.
This Week in Costa Rica brings you the best information.
The best.
From the people who understand why so many choose to call this beautiful place home. Bringing you the latest information from expats, experts, and people just like you who chose to escape, retire, and live in Costa Rica. This Week in Costa Rica. Pura Vida.
Welcome back to This Week in Costa Rica. Coming to you live from the Overseas Radio Broadcast Facility here, Jaco Beach, Costa Rica on the West Coast. Beautiful jewel of a nation, my expatriation destination. Big thanks to Dag Haskell from Crocs Casino and Resort. We're going to keep you guys up to date on everything going on there. That is a huge, huge deal. Very excited to see that up on the north end of town. My next guest, though, is someone I've known for a little while here in Costa Rica. She's a pretty remarkable individual, Isabella Cota Schwartz. She's a writer here in San Jose, Costa Rica. She writes for Thomson Reuters. Born in Mexico, she has worked as a journalist for numerous international news organizations, including Grupo Reforma, BBC Mundo, Radio Netherlands Worldwide, and now, of course, Thomson Reuters. She's previously worked out of Amsterdam, London, even California as a News 21 fellow at the UC Berkeley Graduate School of Journalism. She has an MA in journalism and media with globalization with a business financial journalism specialism from the University of London. An impressive resume to be sure. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome to the show Isabella Cota.
Oh, hi, Corey. Hi, good morning.
You betcha. Thanks so much for joining me again today. Look, really the first question I have for you is what led you to start reporting here in Costa Rica?
Well, as I was trying to figure this out myself, I did not choose Costa Rica. Actually, Costa Rica kind of chose me. The way that this happened was like I left Mexico, which is my home country, about 5 years ago, and I moved to Europe to do my master's degree. After finishing my master's degree, I got a job in Reuters in the London office. It's a huge office in the middle of the financial district. It's completely different to the Costa Rican reality. And after working there for a year, my job there was more of like online editor. I wasn't doing reporting or anything like that. And even though most of my friends who graduated from the master's degree doing that kind of work too, I went into journalism because I wanted to report and I wanted to be on the ground and talking to sources and getting intel. That's the kind of stuff that I wanted to do. So after a year working in the London office, I was ready to leave. And because I'm Latin American and Latin America is a region that is growing and it's an emerging market, I knew that there would be opportunities for me down here. So what I did was I called up the chief of the Bureau of Latin America, who was based in Mexico City. And I said, listen, I'm going to be in Mexico City over the holidays, so I'd love to meet you and discuss whether there's any opportunities for me in this part of the world. And so we did that. We met, and they basically said, I have Guatemala and I have Costa Rica opening. And I said, thinking about my boyfriend who was traveling with me, I thought Costa Rica was a better option because he didn't even speak Spanish back then. So yeah, that's how I ended up in Costa Rica. Next thing I know, I was packing up my stuff from London and I moved here. I didn't know anything about the country. I had never been south of Chiapas in Mexico. And now here I am.
So obviously, I mean, you're traveled, you're worldly, you're educated, and you come from Mexico. And I have to ask, because Costa Rica is obviously not Mexico. It's a very, very different culture. It's a very different society, even though still it is a Latin culture. And I have to ask, how have you been adjusting to this culture socially and, if you don't mind, professionally?
Sure. That's a good question. I'm going to start by saying what I always tell Ticos themselves who ask about why they don't think, they never believe I'm Mexican when I tell them I'm Mexican. They always think I'm Argentinian or, I don't know, somewhere from South America because of the way I look. I am tall-ish. My skin is quite pasty, white, and gross. So I'm not there's stereotypical Mexican. And the reason is Mexico is very, very big. People tend to forget. I mean, it's huge. It's 2 million square kilometers territory. We've got 116 million people. It's a huge country. And so I am from the north of Mexico, which is very different from central and southern Mexico. So that has a lot to do with how I adapted here. Quite quickly. I come from a very conservative society in the north of Mexico, the most conservative of all Mexico, in fact. I come from Monterrey, which is an industrial city. So there's a lot of money, but there's not a lot of, let's say, appreciation for history and culture. That's kind of like I know this sounds terrible, but that's kind of like the culture that I grew up in. And they're very, very conservative and very, very Catholic. And when I came down here, I was surprised to find that the society is quite similar to my hometown.
Very interesting.
It's strange because it's not as similar as people from Mexico City or Guadalajara or the south of Mexico, where the culture is super rich. And, there's a mix of there's a syncretism between Catholicism and pre-Hispanic religions. We don't have any of that in the north, and they don't have any of that here in Costa Rica. So adapting was really, really easy in the social sense. Now, having said that, I left Mexico partly because of that kind of society. I just always felt very misunderstood in my own community. And that's kind of why I'd left, and I'd left for Europe 5 years ago. So when I came here now and I'm older, I'm in my 30s now, and I'm much more tolerant, but at the same time, I'm much more, I don't know, my beliefs are much more strong stronger than before. And so I tend to find that I'm always arguing with people from Costa Rica about how close-minded religion can make a society and stuff like this, you know.
Sure.
So it's been ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I've adapted quite well.
Well, I can appreciate your position because, you know, I'm certainly not a journalist or reporter. I'm just kind of a monkey with a microphone. But it's been my experience as well that it's very difficult to sway ticos on certain things. You know, they're very rigid in their opinions and they're very strict in their ways. Let's put it that way.
They're very strict in their ways. I mean, they're really cool people too, and they're super friendly and they're super nice too. But you know, as like every other society, you sort of scratch a little bit beyond the surface, and you find things that you just, you know, you're not completely happy with.
Absolutely. I can look back on my culture as a Canadian as well, and I can find a lot of Canadian isms that would look strange to foreigners, but are completely normal to us. So, I mean, this is obviously a cultural adjustment that we make, but it's very interesting to hear that a lot of the cultural aspects that you experience back from your hometown are similar here in Costa Rica. Ahead of coming here, I'm sure you had your sets of expectations, though. But now that you're reporting from this country and you've been here for a while, has there been anything that surprised you, anything that you did not expect?
Yes. I mean, I have to say, when you're outside of Costa Rica and all you do is sort of read about the country, you sort of get this image like it's super green and it's super safe and people are super nice. And you know, it's Latin America and it's super vibrant and super alive. And when I came here, I was really surprised to find that not all of that is true. So, for example, I mean, you read about Costa Rica's green credentials all over the world and how, you know, over 90% of energy is from renewable sources. And, you know, how 25% of the country is a reserved area, like some kind of protected natural area. And then you move here and you realize that there is no recycling system set up in place.
Mm-hmm. And then there's 25 open-air dump sites, for example.
Exactly. Correct. Exactly. And then you realize that the quality of the air, like if you're in downtown San Jose or even in the suburb of Escazú, the quality of the air is quite bad. I mean, there's a lot of pollution. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff that I came here and I was really not expecting. The other bit of it is the security side. And I can't talk about this foreigners and other media from outside because Costa Rica has this thing where like a lot of the crime goes unreported. And when I say a lot of the crime, I mean like easily 50% of the crime goes unreported. And so you get the statistics about how it's the safest place in Central America. And that may be true. Yet that doesn't mean that you're safe at all. I mean, everyone I know in Costa Rica has gotten mugged or attacked or had been at gunpoint at some point. And I mean, I myself had a break-in at the beginning of the year. So it's not as safe as I was sort of expecting it to be, which kind of it really had an impact on the way that I live now. I mean, I've lived in London, I've lived in Denmark, and I lived in Mexico City, and I never felt as unsafe as I feel here. Having said that, my reporting job is awesome. I love it because the country is so small. I mean, it's only 4.5 million people, and everybody knows each other. They have this sort of provincial way of socializing, and that's helped me a lot because as a reporter, you want access to people, to key sources, and it's been super, super easy to do that here. I mean, I've done it in Amsterdam, I've done it in Monterrey, you know, and it's never been as easy as it's been here. So in that sense, I wasn't expecting that at all, and I'm super grateful about that.
Obviously, you know, too, you're a native Spanish speaker. How have you been adjusting to some of the language differences here in Costa Rica? Do you speak any of the Pachuco, or do you try to leave that aside?
It's been hilarious from the beginning because, I mean, there are words. Spanish is not like English, which is kind of generic across the board. Like every country has a different kind of Spanish, and some words mean one thing to me when they mean something else here, and it always lends itself to some crazy, hilarious confusion. But I've been super nationalistic, I think, because people know that I'm a foreigner, and it doesn't bug me that they assume that I'm Argentinian. I mean, but I'd like people to know that I am Mexican because it says so much about me, and it's just, you know, it would say you in the right direction when it comes to my expectations on me. So I've kept my Mexican slang quite strongly throughout the over 1 year that I've been here. And I haven't really, I mean, I've tried to sort of use the my, which is like the equivalent
Sure.
of dude, naturally, but it just doesn't sound natural. I mean, who am I kidding? I speak my own kind of Spanish, and so it only makes sense that I sort of keep it that way.
I have to say,
and then
though,
there's
since,
this
I mean,
other bit.
since I've moved to the West Coast, though, my usage of my has increased exponentially on the beach.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's become that way. Now I'm just shortening everything. It's like, porfa mai, constantly. It never ends. So I don't know. It was when I was in the Valley and I was walking around in a shirt and a tie and I was Mr. Business Guy. I mean, mine never came out of my mouth. You know, I'd always kind of look down on the street guys who were always saying that. But for me now on the beach, I don't know. I wear a bracelet, I have shorts, and it's my everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I have to do.
I've gone soft. Don't go soft.
It's really funny because the other thing is that people here speak in a different kind of like a second person. It's a bit complicated to translate into English, but they use vos instead of tú.
Mm-hmm.
And they think tú is like a polada, which is something like it's, you know, trashy way to speak. And that's how we speak in Mexico. Like we don't have vos. And so people are super confused when they see me coming up into the press conferences and I'm wearing like a swanky dress and I'm being all super serious. And then tú comes out and they're all like, what? Like, what is she? Why is she being so trashy? And then they realize that I'm Mexican.
Well,
but
look,
it's been fun.
We have to run here, Isabella. I really appreciate your time today, and we absolutely adore your work. When I'm looking for some good, hard reporting, I definitely hit your articles. What's the best way for our listeners to find your work?
I think my best work, my portfolio, it's online on isabelacota.com. It's quite easy. If not, just Googling my name and the most popular stories on Costa Rica come up. There's also the website. The Reuters website holds the best stories that I've written so far. Reuters.com. Just look up my name and all that you need to know about Costa Rica in the last year and a half, you'll find it there.
Muchísimas gracias y pura vida, May.
Muchísimas gracias, güey. Hablamos luego.
Big thank you to Isabella for joining us today. Of course, fantastic reporter, great lady. Oh, man, she just has a great perspective on this country. Absolutely adore speaking to her. We are coming to the end of our hour together. I want to thank you guys for joining me. It's been absolutely a pleasure again. I've been going through a lot of the email that have been coming in, so I want to take a moment here, plug all the stuff that we've been doing. Don't forget, we are on Facebook. If you want to like us over there, I usually post up a bunch of stuff. Google Plus as well, and Twitter. The best way to find all these links and all these resources is to go to thisweekincostarica.com. That's where you're going to find the email as well, and the way to contact me and get a hold of all of us here in the radio studio in Jaco Beach. Not to mention, guys, we are, of course, now available in podcast. If you are listening live and you want to go ahead and grab this, we are in the iTunes store. It makes it nice and easy. Grab this episode, subscribe, and you will get all of the episodes of This Week in Costa Rica each and every week. I understand the studio guys are working on assembling the back catalog of all of these episodes. So if you do want to get some older shows, it's going to be easy to do. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys very much for joining me today. I want to thank Lyle Head for coming into studio, Dan Stevens, of course, Mr. Dag Haskell from Crocs Casino and Resort, and of course, Isabella Cota Schwartz for joining me from Thomson Reuters. I gotta run, guys. This has been This Week in Costa Rica, only on the Overseas Radio Network.
So you wanna jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
From the Swiss Alps to the sunny shores of Aruba, this is the Overseas Radio Network.